Hello, it's Monica Dubé, and I am going to teach you the top three reasons why people fail to make the right move to grow their business. Now, what I mean by that is we often make wrong moves. We do things that are out of alignment with who we are and what we really want because we just don't know, right? Often we're just uninformed. But what I found in my business with coaching and helping women, especially elevate their businesses, is that there's three top reasons that you fail to get where you want to be. And I'm going to teach what that is today. I'm really glad you're here. I am Monica Dubé. I am a coach for women. I do deep mindset work with people. I help them scale their businesses as well. But I primarily help you get out of the way of you making the wrong moves and making mistakes in your business. Okay. And it has a lot to do with your mindset. First of all, of course, everyone knows 90% of what makes a business work is mindset. And the other is strategy and what you're doing, what you're focusing on, and then getting the support you need to do what you need to do. That's where I'm going to focus today on this, not getting the support you need. That's the top reason people fail. They're not getting the right support at the right time for what they want to create. Okay. And I've been there. Okay. The reason I wanted to do this is because it's so important that we really focus on that. There's a lot of people looking for coaching, not sure what they need, and they go out and spend a lot of money on coaches that aren't giving them what they need because they're not in the know. They don't know who they need. Okay. So a lot of times we go into that scenario by hiring someone that we think looks good, sounds good. They're a great salesperson, and we end up spending thousands of dollars. And then we get to the other side of it and we're like, wow, that wasn't worth the money I spent. All right. And you get sort of jaded by that and burnt out. And I get it. I've been there. All right. I spent 3 years with a coach who was really great in many, many ways. And then by the end of the third year, I realized I spent a year not getting what I asked for or had been promised. And it was very upsetting because then the prices started to go up even way more. And I was like, but I didn't get what I wanted this year. Why would I spend more to continue? And it was very upsetting because with this person, I trusted her and I thought that she was the one that was going to help me get to where I want to be. And so I had to let go of that. I had to trust my own instincts, and it took me a while to get back on my feet. It took me a while to be able to trust another coach again, and I floundered for a bit. But actually, what I did was I focused on what I wanted to create, and I knew I wanted to scale. So I started to create my group program, and I started to do, get people into that and really create what I wanted. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk about this because it's so critical that we understand that emotions are a big part of this. When we get stopped by our emotions, okay, I'm going to teach you about that. When we get stopped by our emotions because we get really jaded or we get upset and disappointed, we tend to, really, really sabotage ourselves. And sabotage is a very important thing that we've got to pay attention to because often we don't even know we're doing it. It just feels like, oh, I had to do this thing. This hurt me. And, I don't know how to get beyond that. And so mentorship is really necessary when you're in that state. And I know it's probably hard because you don't know who to trust, right? But it's required. It's required because if you're going to grow and you don't invest in mentorship, the right person, you will struggle for a much longer period of time, and you don't want that. Okay. So here are some three big fears people have. I have five, but I'm going to do three today. Three big fears that people have when they think of hiring a coach or a healer to help them. And the first is, of course, fear of taking a risk. Yeah. And not getting the results. Okay. So this is one of the biggest reasons it took me, at least I think it was 6 months to trust anyone again. I was afraid that if I took another risk and hired someone, I wasn't going to get results. So it's easy to think you're not going to get results. All right. And the fact is, you may not. Okay. So it's a very important thing to recognize. Yeah, it's true. You may not get results. Are you willing to take a risk anyway? All right. And here's the point. You gotta really get that it's guaranteed that you will not get any results if you don't take any action. Okay. So you're going to stay where you are. You're going to flounder. You're going to keep wondering, what will I do? What will I do? I don't know if this is going to work. But it's guaranteed that you're not going to get anywhere if you don't take any risk. So, being an entrepreneur is all about risk, isn't it? It's all about taking a chance on what you believe and what you really want to create for your life. And if you don't hire someone to help you, you might think you're safer or better off because you're not investing in yourself. But actually, it's a lot more dangerous to not take a risk. Why? I know it seems counterintuitive, but why? It's because you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to probably not make any more money than you could, right? And you're going to stay stuck. So you're going to be in your own head. You won't be challenging your thoughts and beliefs about yourself, and you will basically be stagnant. A powerful coach, such as myself, and I really have to say that I'm really great with mindset. That's all I really focus on in the beginning of a coaching mentorship, because people need to be extricated from their thoughts about themselves. All right. We need to learn how to work with our thoughts and let go of where we're holding back. Okay. So a powerful coach is needed for moving through this resistance. That's why a program that, like the 12-step program works so well, because they use sponsors. They use people who've been through it to help the person who still suffers. Yeah. So that's exactly why it works. And that's why it's so powerful. Okay. So having the second fear that you have when you're going to, hire a new coach or get beyond where you are, is having to face the pain of the past. And I get that. Okay. Many of us just want to be comfortable. We want to pretend we're okay when we're, in fact, we're really miserable and really stuck. And perhaps we're even losing out, but we're so comfortable there. I would say it's not really that comfortable. It's just it's what you know. It's familiar. All right. And you become really resigned to this life of mediocrity. That's literally what happens. So you hold back. And I've coached so many people. I get it. That's what happens. They don't want to take action. They don't want to make a decision, but they stay stuck. And so you have to really go deeper. I get it. It's like not wanting to grow up and pretending that it doesn't matter. Oh, I can just stay a child and be okay and live in my little comfort zone. Well, your life does matter, doesn't it? And if you have a calling to change your life and to help others do the same, then it's not okay, because you're not facing your pain. You're not facing the fears. In my experience, pain only lasts a few minutes. When you work with someone such as myself, who is really powerful at what I do, I can help you move through that pain in just a couple of sessions. And often people have huge changes and a big outcome when they work with me for several months at a time. And that's all I do. I don't take anyone for less than 3 months. Why? Because you're not going to get the change. You're going to get to a certain point and then you're going to go, oh, this is good enough. And I'm going to say, no, it isn't good enough. You're not getting the results you want. You haven't reached your goal. And I want everyone to reach their goals. And they do. Okay. If they stick with it. So sticking with it is really important. Keeping the pain buried beneath your resistance just makes it even more resistant, even more debilitating. It'll continue to stop you. It'll keep coming up just when you're about to take another big leap and you're not sure, all that pain's going to come up again. It's like going back out there, getting back on that horse when you've been thrown off it. You got to get back up on that horse. Okay. And you need help doing it. I get it. All right. If you don't deal with it, it could destroy your business. It could destroy your relationship with your partners or people you're with. It could just cause mental and emotional depression and anxiety. Okay. And even worse, addiction, health issues. If we don't deal with our inner resistance, it does have a way of biting us later on. Okay. Now, just to name a few reasons to get support, the costs far outweigh what it costs you to actually move forward. The cost of not taking action, it's way more expensive. and long term. So, you know, I mean, if I could help you save your business, wouldn't that be nice? So that you don't have to stay in the suffering. If I could help you move to beyond the fear that you have, that I don't want to face my fear, then, and you could see that it isn't that big a deal. It's just fear, and fear isn't really much of anything at all. It's just a bunch of thoughts. And I can help you release fear, and I teach you to do that. So that was the second thing. The key to this one is, it's really critical. I'm not going to go too much further into it, but I want you to get that it isn't as bad as you think. Your pain isn't as bad as you think. I know you think it is. It's yours. But once you've taken the time to face it, and you learn to use my process, which is a powerful release, it can happen rather quickly. And once you've gotten beyond it, you just have to be willing to be supported and loved right through it. Okay. And that's what we do. Years of turmoil that has kept you bound to pain can be released in a few months of sessions. I've seen it happen. I've had people come to me with chronic fatigue, and they go off and create $1 million business, like within, not a huge long period of time. Like, they get out of their own way because I help them. I've seen it over and over. The root of all discomfort could be something traumatic that happened to you in childhood. It usually is. It's usually something that, some belief that you're holding on to because of a trauma. Just be willing to let it be healed, and it will be. I promise. All right. Here's the next one. The next fear is the fear of not having the time to participate full out. If you don't show up for your coaching, you won't get results. That's true. That's a given. But if you resist coaching, you also won't get results. Okay. If you resist the healing, I've never had anyone in my business not get results, except there was one person who resisted my coaching. She didn't like the process. And I said, can you let go of that? Can you let go of resisting the process? Because the process will work if you let it. And she burst into tears, and she's like, oh my God, I'm resisting you. And I'm like, yeah, let me help you. I know what I'm doing. I've been at this for 30 years. I found the most powerful transformational experiences or processes that really work. Anyway, she learned to let go, and she learned to trust me. And it does take that. I'm willing to help you through that even, right? Because sometimes we come to this not knowing how stuck we really are. We just have a lot of stuff that we haven't looked at for a while. And we don't know why it's still there, right? Because it's trauma, or it's something that we haven't been willing to face. But I promise you, once you get to the other side of that, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so much better. You don't have to do a lot to work with me. You just have to show up. You basically have to show up, set your goals, and do some homework every day, probably 15 to 20 minutes a day, and really look at your thoughts every day. And I teach you how to do my process. So if you start to apply that to your life, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Okay. It doesn't take a lot of time. It really doesn't. The fourth fear is the fear of success. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, well, there's this fear of failure. Like, what if it doesn't work? But the less obvious one is, what if it does work? Really? What if it does work? And I get the beyond where I am. I won't know who I am. I've been stuck so long that I have no idea what it would be like to not be so stuck. And it's scary. It's like not knowing what the unknown would bring you, right? So what if it does work? I don't know who I am if I heal my past. And I say, yes, you will discover the real you. And that you isn't suffering anymore. And wouldn't that be better than where you are? I mean, it's got to be better than where you've been stuck. So you're going to feel different. But I'll tell you what you're going to feel. This is what everybody tells me after they work with me, is I feel so much lighter. They may have lost weight. They may have just improved their relationship with their partners, or they may have made a whole lot more money, which is usually the case. They make a whole lot more money because they're freed up. They're not blocking themselves anymore. So you're going to be more freed up, and your life is going to blossom. Now, how can that be a problem? Well, it's different, right? It doesn't mean, though, that you're going to that it's a problem. You could make that a problem, but I would suggest you not make being freed up a problem. Okay, you're going to be happier. That's basically it. So don't you want to be happier? It's ordinary to resist change, but it's really extraordinary to allow change to move you and inspire you and heal you. That's what my message is. It's extraordinary. It's true. You're going to feel different. You're going to be lighter, happier, freer than ever before. But isn't that what life is for? In my world, that's all I ever wanted, was to be free of depression, anxiety, being stuck, not having money, going through pain and divorces, and finding a partner, or learning to love myself, actually, is really what I've really come to. And what I've helped a lot of people do is learn to love, be the person that you want to fall in love with, right? You want to fall in love with that person, be that person. So growth isn't always painful, but staying stuck is. And even though we call it a comfort zone, it's not comfortable. It's just familiar. And wouldn't it be nice for you to get beyond a stuck zone, a familiar but stuck zone, and release? Isn't that hard? It's just, you got to learn to do it. You got to learn to experience it. And, once you do, your life is completely different. I'm not about comfort and stagnation. I'm sorry. That's not what my life is about. I learned to sail this year. I moved to a whole new place in Florida, and I have a gorgeous place to live. I just had my kids here for Christmas. Like, my life is adventurous and fun. I go all the way to Maine for summer, so I can be with my family. I'm not here to live in a comfort zone. I'm not interested in it. So I want you to know, if you want to live a bigger life than where you've been, and you really want to know what you're here for, and you want to get beyond where you've been stuck, please reach out. I just want you to have what I have, basically. Freedom. And, I wrote a book last year, Heal Your Mind, Heal Your Life. And I'm just about to offer a mastermind in this, so you can learn how to do what I've learned. Okay. I'm going to teach you everything I've written in this book over the next 6 months. If you're interested in a mastermind for women that would create and elevate your business and your life to where you really want it to be, and you want to learn my processes, I would really be happy to invite you into that. So let me know. It's Monica Dubay. I love you. I hope this helps you. I want you to really get some value from what I just shared with you. It's only been 20 minutes. And, I really care about you. I really care about my clients. I don't take on a lot of clients. I only take on those who I think are really ready for me. And I have a couple of women in Hong Kong that I'm about to work with. And I'm so excited because they're younger. And I love the younger women because they need to find out their purpose early in life. And for me to be able to work with them, it's amazing. It's really amazing. But primarily I work with women who are in their mid 40s, 50s, and they're looking for, their life purpose, and they're looking to change, and they're looking to get beyond where they've been. Even though they may have been very successful, they're looking for something beyond success, and they're looking for a greater sense of fulfillment. Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this supported you, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.